It will be very difficult, if not impossible, to raise chicken from day-old till disposal without thinking of how to tackle the deadly disease called coccidiosis. One of the challenges we face as poultry farmers is the threat of this common and potentially devastating disease called coccidiosis. But once you understand what causes it and how it spreads, you can feel more confident about your ability to limit its impact on your flock, thereby making good profit from your poultry endeavor. In this video, I'll be showing you how to prevent the spread of this coccidiosis in your flock. Welcome to Farmbiz with Markay. In this channel, we show you how to maximize profit in farming through creativity. If you are new to this channel, kindly consider subscribing to my channel, as this will do a whole lot for us. Let's get started. Coccidiosis in poultry is caused by different species of the protozoan parasite called Emera. The Emera species found in chicken, for instance, are different from those found in turkey, meaning they cannot infect each other. This also means that each species of this Emera is host specific. Coccidiosis is caused by a microscopic parasite called Coccidia. This is transmitted through the droppings from infected birds, maybe in the waterer or in the feeder or in the beddings. There is almost certainly Coccidia present. The good news is that birds in relatively good health with strong immune system are equipped to ward off coccidiosis, as long as they do not become stressed or overexposed to unsanitary conditions. This means anything that will introduce or increase the stress level should be discouraged. Things like buildup of ammonia, overstocking, damp litters, even excessive heat should be discouraged. It is also very important to ensure the immune system of the birds are improved by administering the necessary medications as at when due. Now, how is this coccidiosis spread? Now, coccidiosis cannot spread from a chicken to a turkey, for instance, like I said, but it can spread like wildfire from chicken to chicken. However, if chicken and turkeys are housed together, conditions that promote coccidiosis in one species will also promote it in another species, as the parasitic organisms are transmitted through poo and can contaminate feed and water. Coccidia are extremely resilient and can survive outside their host for long periods. They thrive in a warm, moist and dirty conditions often found in poultry housing, that is deep litter system. The eggs of this parasite can enter the farm through introduction of infected birds, contaminated equipment, clothing, wild birds and rodents. They can also be introduced into your farm through contaminated feed or water, through transportation or vehicle. Another way they can also be introduced into your farm is recontamination due to poor cleaning and disinfection protocols. That is, if your pen wasn't properly cleaned and disinfected before introducing your new flock. All poultry houses with poor hygiene and management practices are particularly susceptible to outbreak, meaning a clean, dry coop, that is dry pen, can significantly reduce coccidia exposure and parasite loads in your beds. Now, what are the symptoms of this coccidiosis? Coccidiosis is primarily problematic in young chicks but can occur in chickens of any age. All chickens carry some coccidia in their intestine. In healthy adult chicken, a small number of familial coccidia won't cause health issue as they have built up in their immune system. Coccidia parasites in small numbers do not cause any symptom. However, signs of coccidiosis needing treatment include diarrhea, reduced feed intake, weight loss or poor growth, dehydration, pale combs and wattles, dropping posture and wings, ruffled or puffed up feathers, droppy or glazed eyes. Bloody poo is also another sign of coccidiosis. At this stage, this is the advanced stage. You see your chicken pooing bloody poo. This is advanced stage of coccidiosis. Now, how do you prevent coccidiosis from spreading in your pen or from being introduced into your pen? One of the best way to prevent a coccidiosis outbreak is by practicing responsible sanitation and litter management. This is very important. You don't need to wait until your litter is messed up totally before replacing them. Now, when you observe any buildup of ammonia, in fact, you don't need to wait until you observe any buildup of ammonia before replacing your litters. So this you do in order to prevent the spread of coccidiosis in your pen. Now, coccidia thrive in damp, warm conditions. So wet litters around the waterer is a virtual parasite paradise. That is, even if you are using the bed drinkers, the nipple drinkers, the manual drinkers, you observe that around that drinkers, you always meet some water around the drink, meet the wet litters around the drinkers. So it's very important you pack out the wet litters on a daily. As soon as you spot those wet area, pack them out, dry them in the sun, and return them if need be. Otherwise, as you pack them, replace them with fresh litters. So don't wait until the litter is totally messed up before replacing them. Believe it or not, when the conditions are just right, coccidia can survive for up to 4 years outside a bird's body. And this hardy little organism can be transmitted via boots, equipment, insects, and rodents. So you are going to need a multi-tiered approach to minimize the threat. Here are some suggestions that can help you prevent coccidiosis from entering into your flock. Keep the pen and the premises as dry as possible. This is very important. Remember, coccidiosis thrive in damp condition, damp, warm condition. That is what promotes this coccidiosis. When that condition is no longer there, it will discourage their spread. So keep the pen and the premises as dry as possible. Now, secondly, never introduce new adult birds into your flock. This is very important. So I always advise farmers to practice all in, all out. This is very important. So in order to minimize the spread, because by introducing another bird to your flock, you are somehow introducing some diseases to your flock. So practice all in, all out. Clear out. Once you are done with one batch, clear everything before introducing another bird to that pen. Now, raise chicks in isolation. That is, mature birds can pass along disease and parasites to vulnerable young chicks. So raise them in isolation. Do not combine them in one pen. Thoroughly clean and disinfect the brooder between batches. This is very important. Before you introduce another batch, ensure you clean the pen properly, disinfect properly, and then before introducing your day-old chicks or introducing a new batch of birds. This is also very important. It's also a control measure that you can use to stop the spread of coccidiosis in your flock. Now, you need to provide clean water at all times. This is very important because especially when you are using the deep litter system, you observe at times if your drinkers and feeder is not somehow raised above the floor level, you somehow meet some level of poo in the drinkers, even in the feeder. So it's advisable you lift the feeder off the floor a little to the back level of the bed so that they won't be able to mess up the drinker or the feeder easily. So you need to provide that clean water at all times. Now, it's like I always say, it might not be possible, if not impossible, to raise your broilers without the supervision of anyone. So at all times, you need to have a close eye on them. When you observe that there is any spillage, you need to pack that spot immediately. And when you observe that the drinker is messed up or there is some level of pool in the drinker, kindly remove the water, wash and clean the drinkers properly before returning it. This is very important. Just as I practice in my pen, when I'm using bell drinkers, what I do, I monitor it off as often as possible. And when I spot any form of pool, or when they drink, there are some feed coming out from their mouth to the drinkers. You see it messed up within some hours. So I go there, wash them so that fresh water can flow in. This is very, very important. And it's also very important when it comes to the water you give to your birds. If you cannot drink it, don't give it to them. This is one of the laws you must observe at all times when it comes to raising your birds. Any water you cannot drink, do not give them to your birds. That means it's not safe for them. Don't give them. Now, again, you need to provide clean litters, clean beddings. It's very, very important. So you must change your litters periodically. Don't wait until everything everywhere is messed up before you try changing the litters. This should be discouraged. Very, very important. Change your litters as often as possible, because this will also minimize the buildup of ammonia. You also observe that the smell is totally eradicated when you change your litters as often as possible. Remember, Coccidia are spread through the feces of infected birds. If feces are in the beddings, which definitely you must see, they are in the bird's feather. And if feces are in the bird's feather, the birds will ingest them while preening, that is, using their beaks to clean themselves. Replace wet beddings around waterers and add beddings to any problem spot. I've said this before. Now, in a way to control or prevent this coccidiosis, you must never overstock. It's very, very important, whether the control of coccidiosis, CROD, as the case may be. In a way to control the spread of disease outbreak, do not overstock. This is very, very important. So you must observe the minimum space requirement for raising your birds. This is very, very important. Now, another thing you need to observe when it comes to preventing the spread of this coccidiosis is ventilation. Good ventilation is very, very important. Cross ventilation. So you must ensure the place is not stuffy. Ensure there is free flow of air in the pen. So this will also reduce the buildup of ammonia greatly. It's very, very important. Always go for good feed. Very, very important, because most professional feed, there is always some level of coccidiostat mixed with the feed. So this will in a way prevent the spread of coccidiosis among your flock. Always go for good quality feed when raising your birds. Now, you must maintain good biosecurity. This is very, very important. Now, like I always say, your pen is not a recreational center. You don't allow people to go into your pen as they like. No, it must be for authorized personnel only, and anybody entering the pen must ensure he observe the necessary protocol in entering your pen. That is, he must disinfect his foot, that is by using the foot bath. Then the clothing that is used in entering the pen must be used. Otherwise, that person might be introducing some level of diseases to the flock. It should be discouraged. Biosecurity, very, very important. Now, it's also very important to net around your pen in order to prevent the entrance of rodent into your pen. So you use net to round the whole thing so that rodent and white birds can't just go into your pen, and these are the carriers of this coccidiosis. In all, hygiene is very, very important. Hygiene, keeping your pen dry, keeping your pen clean is very, very important in fighting against this coccidiosis. Now, like I always say, prevention is better than cure. It's very, very important. You don't wait until there is disease outbreak before running helter-skelter to treat them. No. In order to treat this coccidiosis or prevent it totally, you must ensure you follow your medication chart. Now, as at when due, you must administer anti-coccidiosis to your flock, to your birds, so that you don't wait until it breaks out before running to treat them. No, you must administer anti-coccidiosis as at when due, so that they will be able to ward off coccidiosis when it breaks out. This is very important. But in all, if you have poor biosecurity measure, poor hygiene, no matter the medication you apply, it might not really ward off this coccidiosis totally. So you must ensure you incorporate good biosecurity measures and then good medication to ward off this coccidiosis totally. So in treating this coccidiosis, there are a whole lot of medication you can use. Now, if you want to go organic, there are a whole lot of organic medication you can use to treat this coccidiosis, like the bitter leaf extract and the rest, and it will really work very well in treating them. But always use it as a preventive measure. Don't wait until there is an outbreak of this coccidiosis before treating them. So ensure you prevent them before they occur. This is very important. If you find this video helpful, kindly do well to hit the subscribe button, like and comment in the comment section below, as this will do a whole lot for us in helping us to grow our channel and reach a larger audience. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.